All right, welcome back to Buck Don't Know Shit. It is another day in Texas. Summer, kind of hot, not bad today. It's overcast. I don't know, it's probably 90 degrees. Very humid, as always, and I'm sure I will be sweating my ass off pretty soon. The project today, I don't know. Well, it's going to be the engine. Something on the engine. So many people mowing their grass today. Mine got mowed today too, but it's like it's non-stop all day long lawnmowers. So what I'm doing here, and I did this on the other side before, you know, the fiasco of trying to install a passenger side head. But I can go ahead and I have a gasket for the driver's side, and while I'm waiting, I might as well be doing something. So I don't remember if it's in the book or the instructions for the gaskets, but it does recommend using an anti-seize or drops of oil is what the book says, and running these bolts all the way down prior to installing. And so that's what I've done here, and you see it gets like some stuff skeeting out of there. So I don't know if that's why you do it, but it definitely, you don't want all that mess coming out on your gasket, even though your head's going to be on it. But anyway, it's just, and they don't go down all this far, but getting all the goop and gunk and out of there, it doesn't hurt to chase your threads always before you install something, so they're sucked down a little snug with the ratchet. So about to back them out, clean the face of this up, and I think I'm going to go ahead and install this driver's side head, and then when O'Reilly's gets my gasket set in, I will install the passenger side. Okay, we're going to try this again, starting on the driver's side, and I'm going to put sealant on around the water courses. Time, we're not a big race here or anything. Do these in sequence. Right now, just bottoming everything out. Bottom them out in sequence. Bottom out. We're gonna get them snug. We're gonna go 70 foot-pounds, 80 foot-pounds, and 90 foot-pounds using the torquing sequence. So, like I said, right now I am just getting this all snug. Just work the center out basically. It does have, I think, 2 and 3 are here, and then 5 and 6 are here, but it probably doesn't matter, I wouldn't think, but we'll do what the book said. I'm gonna get my torque wrench set up. Okay, there, got it on 70 foot-pounds. 180. Last step, going to 90. This is according to my book, so you should always consult your manual. 15 over 75, right? There. Okay. 30. This is the one. 90. Try that set right. It moved on me. Let me hit them one more time. I thought that felt a little light. Okay. It is set. All right. I'll do the same on the other side. I gotta do a little cleaning first. Time to put the second head on. I got heads installed with gaskets, torqued down, starting to look like an engine again. Tomorrow we handle the monstrosity that is the intake. So we'll figure it out, we'll get it, but that's it. What's up, Rowdy?
Yeah.
Putting the engine back together.
Oh yeah.
The next day.
Okay, so it's intake installation day. And so I've got some prep work to do. These faces are really dirty just from handling, and I've been laying them on this side a lot when I set them down. Get all that clean. I need to vacuum this valley in here real good. There's debris, just basically scraping gasket material off and stuff like that. Just kind of wipe all this down one last time. I might put a little coat of oil on things before I set the intake in there. Something like that. I don't know. And then I've got some paint on this, which that'll just scrape right off. My dam has or china wall or whatever you call this area. It's got some primer and needs to be cleaned up. So got some cleaning to do, get these surfaces ready. One thing I have seen guys doing these FE, of course they had aftermarket heads, aftermarket intake, and their studs went straight up and down. Mine, so they were able, basically what I'm saying is they were able to put the gasket on. They had like guide studs with no heads on them that they put on both sides. So when they set the intake down, they could set it on those guides and it would go right in. Well, mine are angled, so I'm thinking I can do guides on one side and be able to stab it in and then kind of lay it down. I won't be able to put guides on both sides because it's just not going to work. They're going to be going in towards each other, so I'd never get them on the holes. But I do think I can do one there, get it in there, slide them on that. That way this gasket isn't going to move, and then I can just lay it down nice and easy. And that's my plan anyway. I'm going to put my engine lift bracket on the carburetor mount. That way I have kind of a handle, get a good leather glove, and yeah, get in there and manhandle this thing. All right, let me get to cleaning. Y'all don't need to watch this unless you want to. Is that? Scrape, scrape, scrape all day long. Scrape, scrape, scrape while I sing this song. Okay, a few things about these gaskets. One, they do kind of interlock with the head gasket down there, so that's something of note. Little ears that lock underneath there, and if you don't get them under there, then these bolt holes don't line up, basically. But one thing around these water courses, and I'm just going to make a little mark so I kind of know to put my RTV kind of a little further out there so that it is under the gasket on this side. I can kind of visualize that. Those are all lined up pretty good. I'm actually just going to do around water courses. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm just doing some prep stuff right now. Make sure I'm 100% ready before I go to set this in. So just kind of make sure I have all my ducks in a row before I start setting this in. It on that, so I'm gonna take this back out. I'm gonna put RTV around these water courses, there, and there on both sides. I'm gonna put a little RTV under the gasket here and here, there and there, and then I'll place the gaskets on, smear a little around the tops, and then build my China wall or dam or whatever on both sides. Put a big fat bead across both sides. I'm not using felt gaskets. According to everyone and their mama, they don't work. So yeah, we will use the RTV. And I'm gonna go get my bracket, my engine lift mount here, so I will have something to hold on to. And yeah, I mean, I think the light side I've heard is 80 pounds on these. Heavy side is like 95. So, I mean, I can handle that. It's just, you know, it's heavy. So, and I'm going to cut another thing I'm going to do is cut my studs on this side. Screw them in there, have them ready to go. I think I will be able to guide it in with them. If not, I'll set the intake down and back them out, and we will just set it in place by hand best we can, which will kind of suck, but I think it'll work the way I'm going to do it. Oh, one other thing, which watching YouTube has helped me with this, these little ears right here, we're going to trim them off prior to installation. I'm going to get a little mark on them. It is just, they stick up and cause interference with your valve cover, basically. So we're going to trim them as close as we can. We'll probably, if I cut them a little low, I'll put a little RTV in there when I'm doing the valve covers. But yeah, it's easier to trim them now than trim them in the car, basically. And then you're not getting gasket material all in your valve assembly. I got my little studs there, and like I said, I'm gonna angle it in. These will be guiding on this side, and it'll kind of lock me in place to where I can lay it down easily on this side. And I do think I have to stick my distributor in here also to make sure everything is aligned before I torque my bolts down. So that's pretty much it. I get the bolts in, get these studs out, get the bolts in, set my distributor in, make sure everything's lined up, and then torque everything down and pull the distributor back out. So that is the plan here. I'm about to throw my gasket maker or RTV or whatever on here and get this sucker installed, I think. So let me find my distributor. There it is. Oh, so dirty. Let me clean that up before I go sticking this in there. Jesus, it's dirty. So got my studs, got my gasket trimmed. I'm gonna clean this distributor up a little. Yeah, we'll stick it in there. Might take this vacuum line off. I don't know. I don't even know if I'll clean it. Shit. FOMOCO. Damn, I think this is the original distributor. Impressive. One more thing I need to do. I need to get these intake bolts and never seized them, and clean them up. Just make sure, run them down, make sure they're all good. There they are. They are very clean. I don't think there's anything wrong with the old ones. Plan on reusing them, but we're going to chase them down the threads, make sure everything in there is clean. Okay, a couple of things. I forgot my what is it, oil drain pan. I don't know if it's splash shield or heat. I think it's a heat shield actually, but sits down in there. I got to get that set in there before I put this on, of course. One thing, my little guide bolts, which the ones on the back here, these guys, it's fine. And this is, so I measured the intake on the back, and this was why it's always good to kind of do a dry fit with your bolts and everything. One of these bolts is shorter, right? The one on the back, so the intake is thinner back there. The rest of these, it's thicker, so my little guide pin would have been a little too short. I wouldn't have been able to get it out once I set the intake down, or not very easily anyway. So I bought 4 of these, so I'm gonna cut one about a 1/2 inch longer than the others. So I'll get that ready, get my pan, shield, or whatever down in the bottom of that, get that in there. It's sitting over there. Put the gasket RTV on and get ready to set. This thing was pretty dirty, grimy. I've been fitting it in place. I had to, it got bent up when I was taking this intake out, and it wasn't sitting quite in there. And just to explain, you can see where it aligns. You want to make sure that your lifters are all accessible to your lift rods. Make sure that there's no interference with any of these, because some of mine have got bent up pretty bad. And then also this locks in place. You can see you can get it out, but it locks in under these tabs of the gasket. So just make sure when you are putting it back in that it kind of fixes itself under there. It's pretty firm in place. And if you take it in and out, you might have to bend some of these gasket ears back down so that they're not getting in the way when you're setting the intake in. Okay, I think I'm ready. I've got everything in place that I can think of. Got the studs, everything's clean. Got this installed. I've got everything cleaned off. I got my lifting bracket on the intake so that I can handle it. And guide pins in place. I got my bolts lubed and ready to go. I know more or less the torquing order. Well, I can wait on. Let me go ahead and look up one more thing. I need to look up the actual torque spec. Okay, 35 foot-pounds is what it is, much less than the heads. So, and there is a slightly different torquing sequence inside 4 corners, and then kind of diagonally on the middle 4 bolts. So as we said, we are just going to go around the water courses, which ready to go, and remember to put RTV under the heads of them before install. Now I just have to make, let me put my gaskets on. Make my dams. China wall, or whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to smear it out a little bit. Time to set it. This stuff doesn't harden. It's not a 90-minute set time or anything. To the side a little so you're not staring at. Got my good shorts on today. Both my bad shorts, which aren't really bad shorts, but they're dark. So don't like wearing gray stuff when I'm working on the car. Now I gotta figure out where I'm gonna stand while I'm doing this. Looks like look at that. It helped. Oh yeah. I think that was in there. Okay. Actually came out. That one did anyway. Get some bolts in here, hand tight. Then we will set the distributor in, make sure it's lined up good. Almost forgot again. I do like these applicators. They're nice. Work well. You can put a really thin bead down. It's all about the speed you pump it at. And you can control the thickness of the bead you're laying down really pretty easily. Pretty amazing actually. I don't know if y'all remember, but I did not. Line this up before I took it out. Pin under there. Shit. Come on, bitch. Yeah. Alright. It fits. Let's torque it down. Yeah, I had this guy right up under there. Yeah, where it's going. So right now we are just slowing down. Torque wrench. 35 foot pounds isn't a lot. I'll get the position work down. We got a intake in. All right. Wasn't too bad. Wasn't bad at all, actually. So, it's starting to look like an engine. Okay, so it's an engine. It's coming together. It's blue. Now it's just a matter of putting shit back together. I think I will. I don't think I'm going to rebuild the carburetor. I did order a kit though, so I don't know. Maybe I will. I'm definitely not a carburetor guy. That's for sure. So it is coming together. It's looking good. I think I'm going to get the rockers installed. Probably we'll go ahead and do the valve covers after I check them out. Well, it's 4:30, so it's Sunday. I got this much accomplished, so yeah, I don't really see a big need to push much further than this today. Looks good, looking like an engine. I wish I'd had the darker blue, Ford blue engine paint. I kind of like the black heads on the bolts. Kind of gives it an industrial look. That's what I'm going with anyway. So yeah, man, this has been a project. It's fun. It's badass. Hopefully it runs. We will see.